Meanwhile, in Chicago, newly transplanted Emma Frost orders food for the first time.
Welcome to Chicago. We want a hot dog? Hot dogs for sale.
Sure, I just moved here. Found out one of my students is a lesbian, so...
Oh, okay. Well, usually the lesbians are in Milwaukee. But here's a hot dog for you. You want a hot dog?
Yes, one please.
All right, here, just hold the bun out. Here you go. And now I'm just going to put in the Frank. Here is the Frank.
Thank you.
And now let me get some of that mustard. Okay,
great,
and now
you.
let's get that neon yellow relish. There we go.
What is this?
And while we're at it, let's add in a tomato.
What are you doing?
Let's get some celery salt. There we go.
What?
Shake that on, a whole bunch of that. Yeah, we need that sodium because there's not enough sodium with the Frank. And now we're going to add, did I say tomatoes? Let's add another tomato in there. Let's add some lettuce. And now it's a whole pickle. There you go.
What is this abomination? What planet am I on? What trickery is this? Arcade? Shadow King? Show yourself.
It's just a Chicago hot dog. It's how we do it here. We like to put a bunch of shit on it that people don't really want just so we can be different and say we're not New York or L.A.
Take it away before I mind flay you.
All right, I'm sorry. Is there something else you want?
Just give me a piece of pizza.
All right, sure. Here's your knife and fork.
What the fuck? Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 314 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am your host, Brett, and with me, as always, is EvilJeff. Hi, Evil.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, that's Chicago. Jeff and I both lived there for a long time, so we're allowed to make fun of it.
Yes. Chicago with their weird food. The funny thing is if it comes to deep dish pizza, most times if you go to order a pizza, it's a regular pizza. Like in Chicago.
Oh, nobody eats deep dish pizza in Chicago. Nobody. Tourists.
It's only found there, but no real Chicagoan
there.
is eating it.
It's not eaten there. No, everyone eats thin crust.
Yeah.
Like nice, normal people. Chicago is
it's not like New
people.
York. Like in New York, you're eating a New York fucking pizza. But also, New York is the best. New York is the best pizza.
Yeah, you're eating pizza.
I got into a fight with someone where they were trying to tell me, no, Italian pizza is the best pizza.
Okay.
I was like, are you on crack? Just because it was I'm going to go crazy. I am Italian. We're both Italian here.
Yeah.
Italian-American food is better than Italian food.
Anything. Oh, yeah. Girl, when I went to Rome, I was like, can I eat something other than a pizza or pasta? Something.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
God. Well, I don't
Sorry.
know how Emma is going to fare in our former city of Chicago. And we'll talk about Emma living in Chicago when we address Exceptional X-Men #1 later in the show.
Yes.
But first,
Yes.
we have other Emma topics
Oh, we do?
to talk about. We do, because I was all like...
Are you okay?
No, I'm segueing.
Okay.
Because I was all like...
Oh!
You know the name of our segment that we always start the show
I'm
with?
sorry. I thought you were beginning a bit before I was supposed to do it. I'm slow. But I was all like, slow.
And he was all like, and then she was all like, and then they were all like, and I was all like, what?
I need help.
What?
I
That's
need
okay.
help.
You've recovered. We are here to talk about how I've been spending every single minute of my spare time lately, and that is by playing as Emma Frost in the newest season of Fortnite. Yes, Fortnite. You want to go ahead and make those slides a little bit bigger for our home viewing audience?
Now, I have a question for this. Is Fortnite, does it also have voices? Like, is there an Emma voice? No.
Fortnite only has gibberish voices. So you'll get
okay.
a voice that sounds like Emma.
Can you imitate it right now? So it's basically if Emma Frost was trying to be Tool Time.
Yeah.
What is that? Tim Allen from Tool Time.
Right.
Oh.
Fortnite's so weird. They have speech balloons when people are talking, but they never speak English. They only speak in that kind of weird gibberish. Emma's no different. One great thing about Emma is that eventually when you unlock levels, you can play as her. You can play, well, we'll get to that. She also is a level boss in the game, so you also can fight against her in order to acquire special skills if you beat her.
Can
So
you
it is
fight
very
her
possible-
as her?
Yes, it's very possible to fight Emma Frost as Emma Frost. So why don't we? I just want to walk you through EvilJeff, kind of like some of the details around Emma Frost in the game, because most characters, they have their own shit. So here is the lair upon which you'll find level boss Emma Frost.
So she has
is
her
in-
little white satin throne.
She's got a little white satin throne. She's got some velvet couches. She's in the Raft. So the Raft is now a location in this Marvel-centric season of Fortnite. She's inside the Raft. As you can see, she's got a lovely little mannequin for her cloak. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, she's basically done her best to make the prison that she lives in look chic.
But it's not an actual, it's just a redone prison. She's not in prison.
She's not in prison. She seems to be kind of like the warden of the Raft.
How many Marvel characters can you play in this?
Overall, there are scores because they have done a Marvel season years ago during the pandemic.
And you can still play those.
You can still play as those. Once you unlock a character, it's yours forever. So I actually have upwards to 50 different Marvel characters. You may be interested in Psylocke. Mm-hmm. You may be interested in Colossus.
Okay. Give me some.
Dark
Okay.
Phoenix.
I do remember you talking about that, but I want to hear if there's 50, give me some of the D-list Marvel people that you have.
It's surprising. There really aren't. There's no D-list.
Of 50 of them?
Yeah, like Shang-Chi D-list. Would you consider Daredevil D-list?
Oh, okay. I guess if it's 50,
Cable?
that includes. I'm thinking all X-Men. So if it
No,
includes,
Marvel.
oh, okay.
I've got
So yeah,
Thor.
okay.
I've got Loki.
All right, that's cool. All right.
This season, they brought back Doctor Doom, and he's the main villain. They've introduced Emma is on his side, weird, although she still has all her X-Men stuff, weird. Shuri is on his side. Like Fortnite lacks cohesion at best.
Shuri from Black Panther?
Right. She's in it. I think she's on Doom's side.
Or is it just the actress who played her and she doesn't want...
You could play as Letitia Wright.
And you just
Doom is
can't get
actually
vaxxed.
vaccines.
Wait, but I thought Fortnite you were all just fighting each other and then whoever the last one alive is wins.
You are, but
So
there's
who are
also
the bosses?
storyline. There's storyline behind it. So
Has it
there's,
always been like that?
Yeah, and there's always loose story like, oh, Doom found like a couple seasons ago was Greek gods, and so the idea of Pandora's box was introduced. So this is, oh my God, Doom found out about Pandora's box and like came through a portal to get it for himself, and so that's kind of the story.
Can we go to the next
from
slide?
Season to season, let's go to the next slide. So these are the different looks.
Oh, so you can play in diamond form?
You can play in diamond form. Eventually, you can play in her awful Brian Michael Bendis black costume. That's her. It's a close-up of her in her throne. She's got a little wine glass, a goblet next to her. Diamond, of course. There she is holding a machine gun. The great part about Fortnite
Yeah,
is
they
there's no
only have,
natural
they don't use,
powers.
yeah, they all have to have guns.
Yes. But when you beat Emma, you get that medallion that's next to her, and you can detect nearby enemies.
Okay.
Using her powers, using her medallion. There's a number of things that we get. There's a loading screen with her original art with her in it. What you see there, that's her back bling, her glider, her contrails, which come out of her when she's falling onto the island. Everyone falls onto the island to get started. Her knives, her diamond cutter knives. to hack away at things.
Right.
She also has her own dance called the Hellfire Dance. And while I wish I had a video to show you, I don't. I will describe it as brilliant.
Can you do
cunty.
it?
No, but I think we should open a TikTok, and it's something a little bit like, because I know the music goes,
I want to see you do it.
So she's going like this. She's like, butcha pow, butcha pow. It's very sensual. It's kind of like, remember how her origin story in the Hellfire Club is like she
was
did
a
the dance of the
dancer.
7 Veils? It's kind of like that.
Hot.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
super hot. She's super cunty. You can play as Diamond Form. There's a number. I've amassed enough stars to unlock future characters, but I don't care because I will only be playing Fortnite as Emma Frost from here on out.
Forever.
Forever
Is there a
and ever,
character? Is there a
darling.
character that? What's a character that could beat out Emma Frost that you'd want to play? I'm trying to think. Is there anyone you like better than Emma Frost?
No. My own mama?
No, you would still choose Emma Frost.
I'd still choose Emma Frost. No, Emma Frost. It is the quintessence of me, of who I'd want to play in a game like Fortnite. The
Yeah.
quintessence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all downhill from here with Fortnite. You hear that,
Unless-
Fortnite? You can't do anything else good.
Unless you hop on Fortnite and you and I go around killing people as Emma Frost and Dark Phoenix.
I would need to have a few minutes. I'm so bad
Or
at those
Emma
types
and
of
Scott.
games.
I would teach you. I'd be Scott. You could be Emma.
All right. What are we doing next? Is it a game?
It's kind of a retrospective, and we can have a little fun with it. So we are honoring the launch of Exceptional X-Men #1 by focusing this episode of CBQ on Emma Frost. And so what we'd like to do is take a little bit of a walkthrough of Emma's student teams throughout her history in the comics. We'll talk about her relationship with them, and then you and I will land on who from these rosters do we think is her favorite student of all time.
All right.
Welcome
Oh, I love how
to-
I just got rid of you.
Ooh, you
in
got
the
rid of
video.
me. Welcome to a segment we call Emma Frost, Bad Teacher.
Bad Teacher. Isn't that a movie with Cameron Diaz?
Exactly. Doesn't she look a little like Cameron Diaz in this
She
shot
kind of
right here?
does, yeah. What's this
Whatever
artist's name
happened to
that you
Cameron
used?
Is that Adam Hughes? Let's go with Adam Hughes. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. He was in that whole Matt Fraction era.
Yeah,
It was
he's sort
him,
of-
and who's the guy that always? It was Greg Land, and then him. This guy here were the other main artists of that
Yeah.
time, and I hated Greg Land.
Still
Is
do.
that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tracer. The Tracer.
The Tracer. What happened to Cameron Diaz? She started a wine company and retired from acting, and then recently came back to do a movie with Jamie Foxx, and it bombed.
Oh, well, that's why she left acting. Annie.
Yeah.
Remember when she was Mrs. Hannigan and Annie, and it tanked?
That's the real reason she should have stopped. That was one of her version of Little Girls. Is one of the worst performances of all time. Worst. Terrible. That whole movie is terrible. Because someone was like, we're going to do Annie, but have a little black girl be Annie. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. And they chose the little girl from Southern Beasts of the Wild,
Quavanze Wallace.
and she can't
Wells?
sing.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that's usually like the first. What is this? That was back when like Emma Stone can't really sing, and she got La La Land. Everyone was like singing schminging. We lucked out when we
Auto-tune
gave
it.
it to Renee Zellweger. Couldn't sing, and then they gave her Chicago, and then it turns out it was like she can sing. She was
Not only could she sing, I feel to this day she upstaged Catherine Zeta-Jones, who has a deep musical theater background.
that is a bold statement.
I think in that final number at the end, you cannot take your eyes off Renee Zellweger, and you are not even looking at CZJ.
I know, but her doing the song with her sister, like, and then
And then she.
he did. I don't think anything
I
touches
can't
that.
do it alone.
Yeah, I can't do it alone. I don't think any performance
Also-
can touch that.
No bob can touch the bob that Catherine Zeta-Jones had on her head in Chicago.
Yeah, and I
Look at us,
remember.
Chicago, the themes.
I remember when that movie came out, I wanted Julianne Moore to win for something, I believe. Was it The Hours or something?
Was it
And
The Kids Are All Right?
No, like The Hours or something.
No, I know. There's another movie she was in. The Kids Are All Right.
But that was later when she was a lesbian,
was?
which we'll talk about lesbians later.
Oh, will we ever?
With Josh Hutcherson played her kid. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, I remember I didn't even see Chicago. And I remember screaming in anger that Catherine Zeta-Jones won. I was like, how dare you take this away from Julianne Moore, you fucking bitch. And I was yelling horrible things at her, and she was pregnant, and I may have made some off-color jokes about her and Michael Douglas's future baby. But then later I finally did see Chicago, and I was like, oh shit, she's really good.
She's really
I take
good.
it all back. But we're back to bad teacher. Emma Frost.
Back to Emma Frost.
Is she a bad
Who's her
teacher?
first-
I think she's a bad person, but a great teacher.
Oh, I think she's a bad teacher, but a great person. So her first roster, of course, is the tragedy of the Hellions.
The Hellions.
Why don't you run down the roster, EvilJeff?
Beef? I don't remember Beef.
Big, strong guy.
Beef, Bevatron, Cat's Eye, Empath. Who, Bevatron is your favorite?
I guess. I just love the name.
Empath, Jetstream, Roulette, Tarot, Thunderbird, Firestar. Dumbest one was Tarot.
Can you tell me the difference between tarot and roulette?
Roulette Roulette was basically like what's that person?
Probability?
The girl what's the girl from? No, I thought Roulette.
I don't know.
I thought Roulette just could throw things.
Yeah, right? Or
I thought
they always.
I thought she
I've
just threw
always,
things.
It's like Dermot Mulrooney and Dylan McDermott. I've always gotten tarot and roulette confused in my mind.
No, Tarot would hold up a card and an image of it. She was kind of like Mirage's counterpoint, but Mirage's powers were way cooler.
So, yeah. Okay.
And they were all there until they all, in X-Men, when the X-Men split up from Uncanny X-Men and X-Men in like 1991, was it? The first issue where the new team with Jean Grey, Colossus, Iceman, and Storm, and Forge, all the Hellions get murdered.
They get murdered by Trevor Fitzroy.
Fitzroy murders them, and then she goes into a coma, right?
She goes into a coma. She actually was the target.
Aww.
Because they were playing that game.
Poor
The Upstarts
Emma.
were playing that game. You get points for murdering prominent mutants. So yeah, poor Emma. Do you think there's anyone on this roster who Emma had a particular fondness for?
I think she secretly loved Empath the most because she knew he was the most powerful. And I think this goes into the ongoing theme with when I say who one of her favorite students is, Emma is attracted to power. When she sees someone can be super powerful, she's like, "Oh, you have the potential to take over the world. I'm going to be your mentor and I'm going to be on your side." And I think she knew deep down Empath was the most powerful of all the Hellions.
She said, "I'm going to be your mommy."
What do you think? Do you agree?
I actually think Thunderbird. That's James Proudstar. We forget Warpath started as a.
But
Hellion.
did she? Was there a lot of stuff of her? I don't even remember.
No,
her.
but I mean, in my headcanon, she saw the good in him.
I don't
and
think she.
Something
I
deep
think
within her responded to that.
I think she was trying to have sex with him. No, how old was
Oh
he
my
when this?
God, move
was he?
on.
Were they all underage?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Sorry. What's next?
Generation X.
Generation X.
So Emma has now turned to the side of the Angels, which is something I feel like was forgotten a lot in the beginning of Morrison's run. Like, she's been good for years. But here we have Chamber, Husk, Jubilee, M, Penance, Sink, Skin, and Mondo, kinda.
And clearly her favorite, I mean, that was a whole plot point going on, was M.
Was M. Absolutely. I mean, a little Monet. She's fabulous. She's elegant. She's powerful. What's not to love?
She likes power. And because, all right, we'll move on to, let's see, who else what do we have next here? Did you read Generation X? I wasn't a big Generation X fan. I got
loved it,
bored
but I
with
fell
it.
off about 50 issues in.
Yeah, I think it was also Jubilee. I couldn't really vibe
You
with
hate Jubilee. So then we had the Cuckoos.
Cuckoos.
So then, right after Gen X was Morrison's run, we've got Sophie, Phoebe, Irma, a.k.a. Mindy, Celeste, and Esme. And here, we can prove she said it as Esme died in her arms. Oh, Esme, you were my favorite.
Because she was the most evil and the one could be powerful, right? No, wait, who was she the one who...
Yes.
Wait, which one was the one that died trying to save everybody?
Sophie is the one in this image, yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, but Esme is the one that she
Sophie
loved.
the best, actually.
That's what I was going to say. I think she really does. I think she was just saying that because she was dying.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, Esme." She was.
How it's like, in those action movies when the person's all shot up and then the person's like, "It's gonna be okay. You're gonna pull through,"
yes,
and then their body is all like splattered around. Yeah,
and then they're like, "Ew, get away from me, dead corpse."
Exactly.
Oh, then the new Hellions. We have Dust, we have Hellion, we have Icarus, we have Mercury, Rockslide, Spectre. Who, by the way, I want to talk about Tag and Wither.
I think she definitely had kind of a fondness for Wither, but Hellion was the powerful one. She put Hellion as the leader of this team. Hellion is the one that I think was her favorite.
Fun fact, Spectre, who is the one I am the least familiar with, I just read dating Grey Malkin.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't he in something recently?
I don't know what that's in, but evidently those two have touched bodies.
No, it was like one of those like Pride issues or something.
Oh, it was in Marvel Voices Pride #3, actually. I remember now.
And I think we were like, who's Spectre?
Spectre. Hey, I think she hates Wither. You know why? Because Wither was whose favorite? Celine's.
But that wasn't until kind of after,
like later,
this run when we get to when it got to Necrotia. Poor Wither, he got the sorry end of the stick. Because it used to be, I remember it was like him and Elixir had like kind of a whole enemy thing going on. And Wither like just was like, and then everyone got mad at him because he grabbed Wallflower because he thought he was depowered during M Day and he didn't, and he withered her hand. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're such an asshole. And you're like, this poor guy, he just can't touch anyone. And then when Necrotia happens, he just gets killed. And they're like, fuck you. And I don't think he ever came back after Krakoa.
Remember when... all the villains came through the portal to Krakoa for the first time, and Celine was holding that skull.
Oh, is that Wither's skull?
I like to think it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, who else do we got?
And now our new kids, Axo, Bronze, and Melee.
You forgot one. You forgot.
What did I forget?
You forgot when Wolverine and the X-Men separated. Cyclops and Jean had their own team of students. With Benjamin Deeds and Tempo.
Oh, Cyclops and
Gold
X-Men.
Balls. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Bendis run. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So there was that run.
So Gold Balls, Triage.
Gold Balls, Triage, yes.
Tempest.
Is it Tempest or not? No, Tempo.
Tempest.
No, Tempo was...
We've had this
is
conversation
different.
many times.
Yes.
Tempest, yes.
Tempest. That one, I think she seemed to like... She was really going in on Benjamin Deeds, trying to train him, because I think that was some of my favorite lines. Jonathan Bendis really could write some fun dialogue, as much as, sometimes he could drive me crazy as a writer. But there's one where he's like, but I'm gay. And she's like, who cares? Anyway, use your powers. Be a shapeshifter. Use your powers, bitch. I don't care if you're gay.
She's like, I have two words for you, Christian Frost.
She's like, my brother sucks cock every day.
It's his mutant power. Yes, did forget about those. Was there anyone on that team that you thought she had a particular... Do you think Benjamin Deeds was her favorite?
I think Benjamin Deeds was starting... If it kept on being written, I think she was like prepping him because I think she felt he had the most potential for power.
Yeah. But I think also, it's not just the powerful. I think she connects to the vulnerable as well.
Yeah, yeah. And here's exceptional. This one, it's hard to... It's Axo, Bronze, and Melee, but we've only met one of them.
We've only met Bronze so far. I, for one, am really looking forward to Axo. He seems very...
What's Axo's powers?
So he can pick up on and control emotions. And when he picks up on emotions, his skin changes color to match the emotion that he
So he's a mood ring.
He's a moo.
Okay. All right, great. I don't know if I like that. And Bronze is basically like Medusa. Is she only have the tendrils?
No, her skin turns to a metal that's almost as strong as adamantium, and when she turns her skin to the bronze metal is when her hair is when she can whip her hair back and forth.
Is it strong? Because then that makes the whole point of the story, which I guess we'll get to in a bit, moot, where Kitty saves her. Then Kitty didn't need to save her.
I don't think we knew that yet, you know?
Okay.
I don't think they knew it yet.
What is this? Yeah, that one. It's all still to be determined because Emma hasn't met any of them yet in the comics, so we don't know who she's going to like the best.
Yep. So actually,
is this? Are we not supposed to go there yet?
Your slide is missing for some reason.
Oh,
just
okay.
Put it in and everything.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. So I'm going to talk about who I think. No, you talk about who you think her favorite student is out of all these students.
And this isn't necessarily who I think her favorite of all the students, because I think if we really had to go down to brass tacks, she's always going to choose the Cuckoos because they're kind of her daughters.
They're very much
so
her
I feel that's cheating. But for me, my favorite storylines when Emma was a teacher was the new X-Men. And during that time, the new when she had the new Hellions and there was all the different teams, and she liked Hellion. And I kind of loved that she knew Hellion, his powers. He was too powerful. He couldn't control his powers. He also had a propensity for evil, and she saw that and was trying to steer him to be a leader and be good. And that was just my favorite storyline. So that's the one. So at the time when she felt Hellion was her favorite, that is what I'm choosing because it's my favorite storyline.
I like it. I think her favorite student is the one she never had.
Kitty, the one she kidnapped. Starting from kidnapping to force to be in her school, be a Hellion. Kidnapping when she first meets her. Kidnapping. I guess she kidnapped the X-Men when she was trying to recruit her. So Kitty has always hated her. And then Joss Whedon's run, where they finally lay it all out, have it out, and end up with the poignant moment when Kitty sacrifices herself.
And also, first of all, R.I.P. John Cassaday, the artist from Astonishing X-Men.
Wait, when did he pass?
Today.
Today?
Yeah.
From what?
I don't know. He died at, I think he was 51.
No!
Very tragic that we lost a great comics artist today.
And we lost James Earl Jones, too.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. No, you didn't. Oh. Sorry. John Cassaday drew that poignant moment between Kitty and Emma. Also drew what I think is one of my favorite comic book fights of all time. It was earlier in the run where Kitty and Emma get into a fist fight.
They have it all. They lay it all out.
They
lay it all out
of each other. Kitty beats the shit out of her when her fist just comes through the mirror when Emma's looking into the mirror. One of the best panels ever.
Yeah. And what's the line where she's like surprised?
Disappointed, Miss Frost?
Disappointed, Miss Frost?
Astonished, Miss Price.
So good. And then when we get to the pirate days of Marauders, this is where there was a moment, probably right after this scene, where Kitty's like, I think I'm a lesbian and I want to eat your pussy out. And Emma let her for a second and then was like, we have to stop. Mm-hmm. I knew you when you were a kid. I can't. Yep. I know you're of age now, but this is too weird. We have to stop. Yep. Also, I like dick.
Yep. That aside, I think Kitty Pryde is the person who Emma Frost respects the most on this planet.
Yeah. Well, clearly from this exceptional. I guess is this leading into us talking about it?
What a great segue to maybe play our X-Men music.
It's mutants with powers, Omega for hours. Bitch, let's read some X-Men.
All right. We are talking about the one, the only, Exceptional X-Men.
Exceptional X-Men #1.
Which we only see Emma Frost at the very end, which is my one complaint about this comic.
Right.
Is that we're gonna. I'm assuming probably the next issue is going to be more Emma centric.
Yes, but what a powerful 2-page appearance it is. But let's talk about the issue.
Yes. Do you have other slides in this, or is
no?
It,
so you can go to
okay.
us.
Okay. Basically, we've already established in this setup of the post from the ashes, post-Krakoan world, Kitty Pryde snapped, started murdering anyone that had to do with Orcus in horrible, brutal ways. And I think she was like, I'm done with the X-Men. I'm done with saving people. I'm just going to be a lesbian bartender in Chicago. Because
that's where we meet her.
Yeah, and she is a bartender. She's laying low. She sees when mutants are being bothered, she's kind of stepping back, not standing up, being very unlike herself. And she's traumatized. But she does decide to go on a date. And you're like, they're not saying anything. And finally she goes, where is she? And I was like, yep.
Here it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
I think we established in Marauders that she's bi. And I think she is always bi. She's not a lesbian because I think she truly did love
Peter.
But I think now she's like, you know what though? Once you taste the pussy.
That diamond pussy.
Yeah, you're not going to go back.
Second.
Yeah, so I think now that I do think it's hilarious now thinking back to Excalibur, and now other than Megan, all the women on the team have decided to turn sapphic, which I think is hilarious.
And Megan, any minute now.
Oh yeah. Which is also funny that Rachel and Kitty, who were best friends, they never decided to bump uglies and scissor. Interesting.
I love the line that Megan is probably sick of that spotted dick. Can we say that's a good joke? Anyway, one thing I found interesting about the opening of this issue is that Kitty lives on the south side of Chicago. She lives in Bridgeport. She doesn't live above Madison.
No. But Bridgeport, I don't know. It's been 20 years almost since I've lived there. But Bridgeport was...
Oh, it's very lovely.
It's very like on the up and up. Yeah. They were like trying to like gentrify it. It was very...
Well, considering that she's working at a neighborhood tavern at brunch and it's packed, I would say gentrification complete.
Yes. Because I will tell you this. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. I could probably count on my hands the amount of times I went south of downtown.
I'm saying. That's why it's shocking.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
If you live on the north side, you rarely, which when I went back there, I finally went and hung out in Hyde Park, and I was like, I should have spent all fucking 12 years here.
Yeah. It's kind of like LA where it's the 405. Like you're either on the west side or you're on the east side. And if someone's like, I'm moving to Venice, us in the Valley or Silver Lake, we're like, bye. Never going to see you again.
In New York, where you either live in New York or New Jersey.
Or what about, do you feel though I've heard there is like, if you're a Brooklyn gay, then you stay in Brooklyn. If you're a Manhattan gay, then you stay in Manhattan.
For the most part, I will say all the big parties are in Brooklyn. So this Manhattan gay has been going to Brooklyn a lot, and let me tell you what she discovered. She discovered the water taxi that takes you from East 34th to anywhere you want to go in Brooklyn over the river, and I'm obsessed. But
it saves you time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
it's
we're
$4.
in Chicago now. Kitty is going to... Did they say what concert venue she was at?
No. There are 2 rats eating one of those stupid Chicago-style hot dogs, though. But no, I don't think they say...
What were the big concert venues in Chicago?
It's like, are you going to Shuba's? Like, are you going to the Metro?
The Metro. I saw Stereolab at the Metro. And it was amazing.
I saw Of Montreal at the Metro 3 times.
And the Vic. Remember the Vic?
The Vic. My theater where I did improv was across the street from the Vic for a while.
Anyway, she's Chicagoing it up, decides to meet for a concert, an old group. I love how she's like, it's some old-timey group. And I'm like, is Kitty in her 30s now?
Hold on. She's at the Bucktown Lounge, which is not a real place, but Bucktown is a real place. So she's in Bucktown.
Bucktown is north side, though.
Right. Yeah.
That's near
It's like
Big Chicks,
northwest.
right?
No,
wait, where's Big Chicks? What's that
Big
neighborhood?
Chicks
Andersonville.
was Uptown. Yeah,
That's Uptown. I'm mixing up Uptown and Bucktown.
Edgewater.
Okay, anyway, she is talking about if she's going to see an old concert. How old is Kitty Pryde now?
Right, like what's nostalgic for Kitty Pryde? Like
because
early 2000s?
But is Kitty supposed to be 30?
Right.
I think she's still in her 20s. She's supposed to be in her 20s. So she's like 24. That's too young to be like, I'm old. But I guess
she's
maybe
an old
if it's
soul.
I guess. All right, fine. But anyway, she goes to the concert and it's the wrong night. And then she's like, fuck it. I'm just canceling everything. Fuck this. I don't need to eat pussy that bad. But she's like, maybe I will go into whatever this concert is. But lo and behold, a little mutant. Is she not being let in because her skin is shiny and they can tell she's a mutant?
No, I think she's not being let in, A, to advance the plot, and B, maybe for other reasons? Like maybe the other color of her skin?
That seems crazy.
Crazy.
I don't think... I've never heard of like a concert and them not letting a black person in. That seems...
crazy.
Insane. What is this, Korea? Have you heard about that in Korea? No. Korea does not let black people into any of their nightclubs. And a lot of these nightclubs are hip hop nightclubs. They are playing American hip hop music and black people are not allowed in. Big old signs.
Signs?
Yeah. There's no laws against, because everyone's Korean.
Mean North Korea, right?
No, South Korea.
Oh my god.
No, girl, South Korea. South Korea is crazy. Where because everyone's Korean, they don't have like laws against racism because they're like, what? Anyway, so for some reason she's not let in. She gets pissed off, her powers get a little out of control, and then the bouncer pulls out a gun and decides to try to shoot her in the head.
That's where I'm like, okay, could you lay off Chicago, everybody?
This is getting out of control. Okay, well, I mean, take a side political note. I am sick of people talking about the crime in Chicago because I am sorry. The crime in Chicago, which I used to live in Humboldt Park, which a gang movie was made called Humboldt Park. I lived in the nasty neighborhoods of Chicago, so there has always been crime in Chicago. And when all those handgun deaths started, it coincided with the Supreme Court overturning the handgun ban. There was a handgun ban in Chicago. They overturned it. Everyone had handguns and started shooting people, and they're like, oh, look at these liberal cities. And I'm like, you fucking did this, you fucking bastards.
Yes. Also, tell me you're ignorant and sheltered and have no life experience without telling me all of those following things by saying something like, what's happening in Chicago? What is happening? People are living their lives. What?
Yeah. That's what my dad still is like.
No idea.
My dad's just like, you're being attacked by homeless encampments in LA.
People who are afraid of cities are the most worthless fucking people.
The reason they're afraid of cities is because it's where all the people are. And they're afraid, and they know that we have the majority of people. Because the fact that it's a guarantee, this coming election, it is a guarantee that Kamala is going to win the popular vote.
Yeah.
But we don't know if she will win the presidency. Makes me want to... speaking of handguns,
like how she's going to dominate the
out.
debate today, but tomorrow all of the headlines are going to be how Trump didn't do that bad, but Kamala made the following 17 minor mistakes.
All right, anyway, Kitty finally is like, I can't let this little girl get killed. She jumps in and lets the bullet go through her. But now I'm just curious of like, if she didn't, would the bullet have bounced off of her?
It would have bounced off her, yes.
because we haven't really established. It looked like the tendrils of her hair, or are they dreadlocks, or whatever is going on, are very Medusa-like powers that she can control and use them. But we don't really know what her exact powers are.
Yeah, it looks like they're more braids.
Kitty saves her, drives her home, and the girl seems pretty cool. I mean, this character seems pretty cool. She's also a little traumatized where she's like, I'm a freak. I don't want to be a freak. And she's like, don't be ashamed. And it's like, girl, you're ashamed right now. Like, you don't, Kitty, you need to deal with your issues of being a mutant.
And what better way than to meet a little girl in need?
Yes. And which is why I want to say I've been other than Uncanny and X-Men finally started to get a bit good, and I like NYX, but Uncanny was kind of the one being like, ooh. This one's good. Like this one's good.
Because it's about human relationships. It's about people caring for one another.
Yes.
It's about true heroism. You know,
yeah.
Like Kitty has shown throughout this whole book. By the way, when she introduces herself to Bronze, she says, "My name is Kitty."
No more Catherine.
No more Catherine. That feels significant.
Because I think it is like, maybe I'm not the adult that I think I am. She
thinks about it. She goes, I owe you one, Catherine Pride. Her name is Trista, by the way. Trista Marshall, Bronze. Kitty goes, it's ... It's Kitty. Kitty Pride. Okay, cool. Thanks, Kitty Pride.
And so that's setting up that, clearly they're going to have a relationship, and then she's going to end up being forced to kind of be forced in a way. We're not forced, but in the end, she's not going to be able to not mentor these younger people in need.
Yeah.
And it's where you have a similar thing where why Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost are on such polar opposites, but when it comes to helping children, they will fully line up. And so we cut to Emma Frost. Let's just get to the Emma Frost part.
Yes, please.
Where and this is where I don't buy this for a second. She's in this rich hotel and she's like, oh, Forge is busy. This person's busy. Oh, everyone's busy here. Who's free? Kitty. I do not think Kitty is on the last on her list. I don't buy that for a second. Do you?
This is Emma Frost in denial, lying to herself.
Exactly.
Emma is not in a good place.
Yeah.
You could tell by the mess and the extravagance that she's drowning herself in.
And then she's like, oh, I guess I should talk to Kitty. It's like,
she's lonely.
100% know you only want Kitty. You don't want to talk to Forge.
She doesn't want to talk to Banshee. She doesn't want to talk to Aurora. Like, it's all about Kitty. And she's fooling herself into making Kitty fifth on the list. Like, you know why you're here.
Exactly. And so I'm very interested to see where these other two characters are going to show up and how this is all going to come together. But I'm digging it. I like it. But also, X-Men.
We don't know. There could be a why behind Emma going through her mental Rolodex like this. Like, she could be looking to do something with someone. Maybe it's something she wanted to leave Kitty out of, but because Banshee, boring, Aurora, messy, Bishop, intriguing, move that to the maybe. Like, there's intention here.
What also is Kitty she's probably reached out to Kitty and Kitty is like, I'm out. Because you have to remember when Emma was married to Tony Stark and Kitty was like the ninja going and killing everybody, they were always in the Morlock tunnels meeting up, and they were the ones being like, we're gonna fucking kill everyone. Like, they were the two ones like, fucking kill all of them. So when all of this ended, Kitty probably was like, I'm out, and Emma was probably like, I respect you. But now she's in the thing like, oh, I guess I get if I can call her anyway.
But it's clear Emma Frost is lonely. Emma Frost, she is up in this extravagant hotel or whatever, cutting herself off from everyone. And she is a creature of connection. And so it's not working. And so she's reaching out.
Yes. So Exceptional X-Men is exceptional. What's next on the docket?
Let's see.
What should I play? Reading?
No, I think we're okay. I think.
Oh, we don't need to play anything?
Any final words you want to say about Emma Frost before we move on to our next segment, which is going to be our countdown to Agatha All Along.
Ooh.
But anything you want to punctuate around Emma or?
No, I just love her. We talked about her
I just love
enough.
her. We love you, Emma. You're so pretty.
All right. Well, what are we talking about next? Let's see.
Oh, so we have got perhaps Marvel's gayest TV show coming up. And so we thought we would start to celebrate the release of Agatha All Along in a few short days by going through our top 3 witches of all time, bitches.
How does this work? Are we each doing 3, 2, 1, or is it I go first, you go first?
It's your 3, my 3, your 2, my 2, your 1, my 1.
All right. Well, let's start my top 3 witches.
Oh, it might be mine first. Okay,
it's
mine
yours.
first.
Oh,
so
okay.
And you, it's my number 3.
This is a new one.
This is a new one. Okay, so Brett's number 3 top witch of all time is a new installment, but it is someone who, and by the way, the show just got fucking canceled.
So there's no point in me watching. I knew it. I was like, people are like, oh, season 2 is when they'll really start fucking and the relationship. And I'm like, I'll wait until it gets renewed.
We are talking, of course, about Dead Boy Detectives. And the witch in question is a woman who had my heart the second she came on screen. And that is Esther Finch, the witch from Dead Boy Detectives. The cuntiest witch I have ever met. And that's saying something.
Never there was a witch, there was a bunch of bone. It's Esther Finch.
She, in this scene, we have a slide, for you audio listeners, we have a slide up, a picture from the show where she's got blood trickling down her face and she's leaning out of her front door. It is one of the best line reads in a TV show ever when she's telling the kids like she's going to get them and then her crow is inside squawking and she goes, Monty, be quiet. I'm trying to scare some kids. It is the best line read ever from a witch ever. So that shot her automatically up to number 3.
All right. Well, who's my 3? My 3, the Grand Wizard of the Worst Witch. The Worst Witch. Is it one of the worst witch movies or is it one of the best witch movies?
Who's to say?
The Worst Witch, starring Tim Curry and Fairuza Balk and Charlotte Rae from
Mrs.
Facts
Garrett.
of Life. Mrs. Garrett. This is before Harry Potter. Everyone went to this little witch school. This was made in 1981?
Oh, shit.
80? 79, 80, 81?
Shortly after Rocky Horror. I think we can safely say that.
I'm not sure of the exact date. But anyway, Tim Curry plays the Grand Wizard of this witch school. He flies in this gayest Liberace. He's a Halloween Liberace outfit, and then sings the worst song ever in front of the worst green screen effects.
The worst.
But it's like Showgirls. It's so many bad things. It becomes the most brilliant thing you will ever watch.
Genius.
Like the song, he's like, on Halloween, you can be a cat. On Halloween, you can wear a hat. Like, it is... if you have not... Look up Tim Curry, The Worst Witch song on YouTube. You will not regret it. It is the most insane thing you will ever see.
Now, it's been a minute since I've seen this. Does he have just the one song and then he's out?
I can't even remember
Yeah.
because... the whole movie is garbage, and that part I've rewatched
over and
anytime
over.
people are like, let's watch something stupid, I'm like, I'm gonna put this on. And I just get to watch everyone at the party being like, what the fuck are you watching? Let's go to number 2. Number 2.
My number 2 is a DC Comics character. Now, we love an agate little bitchy little twink.
He was in the Titans cartoon.
Yes, Young Justice.
We're
talking, of course, about Clarion the Witch Boy. I mean, that line I've got in this panel we're showing right here. If this is what witch men know, I'll stay a boy forever. That's the spirit of Clarion the Witch Boy. Just a little agate.
Yeah.
Just the agatist of agatry.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I was introduced to him via Grant Morrison's Seven Soldiers of Victory. Clarion the Witch Boy is one of the seven soldiers. And if we remember, each character had a 4-issue limited series. It was about a superhero team that never met. And so Clarion's series was about him escaping the underground community he lived in, which was called Limbo Town, which was what happened to the people from Roanoke, the the colonial settlement that disappeared out of Virginia. Turns out they retreated underground. A lot of them were witches. Clarion the Witch Boy was born in Limbo Town, stayed underground his whole life until, he had a bit of a rumspringa. He got to kind of go experience New York City and helped unwittingly save the world during his adventures. And so anyone who is just this foppish,
yeah. Bottom energy. We got to give it
energy.
to him.
We're talking Troye Sivan.
Yes.
Troye Sivan was a witch. By the way,
Troye Sivan in looks, but not personality.
Not personality.
Who's the personality?
Who's the personality? It's like, what's his name? The one dating Ben Platt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to say like James Charles. I mean, he is kind of a villain. He is kind of a villain.
Oh, he was kind of a villain, just like James Charles. Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, shout out to his familiar Tickle. Oh,
number 2, I chose Andorra from Bewitched, the mom from Bewitched. This is like the first witch sitcom. And part of me was like, am I choosing Elizabeth Montgomery? Am I choosing Samantha? Fuck no. I almost chose, who was the aunt? Aunt Esmeralda or something?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's exactly
the drunk
who that
one.
was. Yes.
And then there's the uncle who is played by Paul Lynde.
Yes.
So there was so many to fucking choose from. But Andorra, just the cuntiest of cunts, like, oh God, my daughter married a human, gross. Let me cast a few rambunctious spells. And she's a redhead like me, so,
we love a cunty redhead.
Yeah. But if you have never watched an episode of Bewitched, you are missing out. Andorra is amazing.
Yeah, watch Bewitched.
Right,
and now time for my top witch of all time. Talk about cunty redheads. You know damn well I had to dip into American Horror Story Coven and go with Miss Myrtle Snow, played by Frances Conroy in AHS Coven. Of course, the iconic death scene.
Wait, on the count of 3. On the count of 3, we're going to do it. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Balenciaga!
Yes, what a way to go out. Burned at the stake, shouting about Couture. Myrtle Snow, fabulous.
But didn't she come back to life in Apocalypse?
She does come back to life in Apocalypse to avert the end of the world. Yes. Another reason we love a redheaded queen who can resurrect from the dead. Am I right?
I know, right? Andorra from Bewitched, right? Isn't that a
Jean
plot
Grey,
line?
that other witch.
Where Darren snaps her neck. No, I'm gonna redo a really and then she kills him, and that's why the Darren switched. They had to change Darren's because she murdered him.
Give Bewitched the Bel Air treatment. Make it a drama.
Girl, don't even tempt me. I'm gonna write that right now. But let's talk about my number 1 witch.
Which is the correct answer.
Fucking Willow Rosenberg from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So many
Correct.
people did not like where she became the big bad.
Really?
And I was like, are you
Does it hurt?
fucking with me? It's great. Bored now.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite thing is Willow getting more and more and more and more powerful. I always loved Willow. I love witches. I love magic powers. Whenever we played Dungeons and Dragons, I would always be a magic user. I always loved spells and all of that shit. I love the craft. I was this close to choosing Fruzabog from the craft.
I was very close to choosing Fiona Good instead of Myrtle Snow. But anyway.
Yes. But Evil Willow at the end, she was so fucking badass. I remember how much I hated the character Dawn in Buffy.
Yes.
And there's a point where she's just like, you don't even exist. Should I turn you back? Should I turn you back to the key? And I'm like, do it, Willow. And also just the fact that so many women, I hate the trope of I'm so powerful I can't handle it, so I turn evil. And hers could have been that, but hers is I'm turning too powerful and turning to dark magic because somebody killed my girlfriend and I'm pissed off.
Hello. Lesbian.
Lesbian.
She's a lesbian, which is why she's number one.
Is that going to lead us into what we're going to be talking about next?
Which is what a great segue into our final segment of the show. Again, part of our countdown to Agatha All Along. It is a segment.
Agatha.
Yes, EvilJeff
is a lesbian all along.
Listen, EvilJeff and I dove into Agatha Harkness's most iconic comic book appearance, and we want to know: is she a lesbian all along?
Is Agatha Harkness a lesbian?
Well, the first time
I mean, she already looks like Destiny, who's a lesbian.
She already
Are they the
looks
same
like,
person?
She already looks like Holland Taylor, who's a lesbian.
Oh my God! All right, what are we talking about?
So her first appearance is in Fantastic Four number 94, where they stay. She's auditioning, if you were, to be the babysitter for Franklin Richards. So she invites.
Did they explain? I read this, but there was a lot of dialogue, so I was skimming a few. Where I was like, "This is a page of straight up full dialogue. I'm gonna skim a little bit." Did they actually say why they're choosing her?
I think she answered an ad. Like she responded.
Oh, she answered. Okay, she answered an ad. Yeah, and it's basically a witch in a witch's haunted mansion, and they all decide to spend the night to see if she can babysit Franklin. And there is only one voice of reason in this entire comic.
And it's Ben Grimm.
And it is Ben Grimm being like, why are we letting this weird old witch lady babysit a baby? And you're like, and everyone's like, oh, Ben, you stupid brick person. We don't care about you.
You are picking up the context clues that this is a witch, right? And Reed's like, nonsense.
Yeah. What? I'm the smartest man in the world. What?
But the first thing Miss Harkness does when she welcomes these four people into her home, she looks at Johnny and Ben, two obvious homosexuals, and says, I trust you two gentlemen will be comfortable sharing a guest room. So she immediately assumes
that they're gay.
Same-sex proximity.
Yes.
Immediately assumes queerdom. Why? Because she's got queer on the mind?
Yes. Also, she has a cat.
She has a cat.
That's pretty much all of it right there.
There it is. Lives alone. We see her in Fantastic Four later on, where she really does become the nanny to Franklin. But I would like to cut to, you were good.
Oh, okay.
Avengers West Coast, where we learn the Scarlet Witch's children are actually pieces of Mephisto's soul.
Fists.
And fists. In this issue, Miss Harkness says to Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, when Wanda married the Vision, she desired no more than to create for herself a normal home. And then she says, to one of her upbringing, that meant having children, which I can't help but detect a little bit of a scoff there.
She's like, heteronormative.
To one so
disgusting,
heteronormative, that
revolting.
Meant having kids. I personally don't care. I love my childless existence. And
exactly.
I'm like, preach on, sister.
Yeah, lesbian,
queer. She's
Can
queer.
we also talk about, I forgot that she is the one where they're like, she used her magic hex probability powers with magic to make Billy and Teddy, not Billy and Teddy, it was a Billy and...
Billy and, I was having trouble with understanding knowing Speed's name. Also, Billy and, God damn it, Speed. Billy and Speed. Shit.
Anyway, so she's like, she made them, and she wasn't supposed to. Tommy, and she was like, and so now the kids are gone. They're back. They don't exist anymore. So I just, took away all her memories of them. That was her doing. She did that.
Her doing. And the
And
Avengers
everyone's
are
like, how
"That's
could you do that?
monstrous."
And she's like, don't you understand? She's a stupid, straight white woman. She can't handle knowing that her children never existed.
She's like, who cares about kids? I know I don't.
And this
now
was,
she doesn't.
but luckily at the end of this issue, it showed it was the Atlantis Wars. And I was like, oh, I bought all the annuals of that when I first started collecting X-Men. So I literally know exactly at what point in time what was happening in the X-Men. They were in the Outback when all of this was going on. But I just realized, but isn't this the setup? Is this lead to why 20 years later in New Avengers that she has her psychotic break is because she then remembers that she had the children?
Yes.
And then murders
Yes.
Hawkeye, and who else does she murder?
Jack of
Hawkeye
Hearts.
and Jack of Hearts, and all of that crazy shit happens. So this is all Agatha's fault.
I'm sorry.
It was
Scott
Agatha
Lang.
all along.
It was Agatha all along. And then now, as we know, thanks to WandaVision.
So wait, so you could also say Agatha is the reason House of M happened.
Fuck.
All right, next slide.
Well, she's been yassified, now that we've got the beautiful Catherine Hahn playing Agatha in the MCU.
They're like, we can have some old crone.
Oh, they do this over and over. Destiny, we can't have some old crone. Cassandra Nova in the movies, we can't have some old crone. And now Agatha in the movies and the comics, we can't have some old crone. Can we please protect our hags?
They do it to the men too. Magneto is de-aged. What's his name? Who's the guy with the? Why can't I think of his name? Shield with the.
Yes,
patch.
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury was like suddenly now it's his kid. I guess.
Oh, we need to protect our hags.
Protect our hags.
Anyway, Agatha, as we find out, is very old. She was around in the 1400s, Salem witch trials, the whole thing. She had a coven, and they were a little friendly, if you catch my drift. There was one member of the coven named Karina who was kidnapped by evil in the 1400s, and Agatha, young Agatha at the time, sacrificed her life to try to save her what? Beloved Karina. Okay?
Yeah, I think, honestly, we should start calling a group of lesbians a coven.
A coven.
Yeah. That should just be a given.
I love it.
What do we call a group of gay people?
A glitter.
A glitter. That works for me. And so all of this, but was she de-aged? How was she de-aged?
This
is the Midnight Suns in 2022.
From like 2022, right after WandaVision, a year after. Midnight Suns team put together by Agatha Harkness, and then it turns out the young woman who she failed to save in the 1400s turned out to be the big bad at the end. And then Agatha, after lamenting not being able to save her, winds up stealing her power, becoming youthful again at the end of that series. And we've had the youthful...
And then does she kill her when she does that?
She does kill... Oh, no. I think Karina does escape into the dimension, the dark dimension where she was. Yeah. But
did it seem like... And you still think that they were lovers?
It very much felt like they were lovers.
Don't you hate it when you have to kill your lover?
I hate it. There's no explicit mention. I had to do it last night. Oh, cut that. Yeah, no, she, she had to murder her lover. There's no explicit, like, I love you, you're my beloved. But there's a lot of emotion and a lot of love. Yeah. And a lot of going through hell to save
because you know what? Because in this world, we don't believe that straight women can be best friends. They're lesbians.
They're lesbians. So Agatha Harkness, has she been a lesbian all along? EvilJeff, what's our verdict?
Lesbian.
She's a lesbian.
Lesbian.
Knowing that you are watching a show about a lesbian.
Because first of all, Agatha Harkness, lesbian. Who else is in the show? We have Billy Wiccan. Not lesbian, but gay. We have Patti LuPone is in it. Gay adjacent.
We also have a cast member who just publicly came out as a lesbian.
Who?
week.
Who?
Sashir Zamata.
Are you kidding me? This week?
He proudly came
Yes.
out this
Welcome.
week.
Welcome, my lovely. Welcome.
And I love
I
her to
love
death,
that.
and
Oh,
now I
she's
love her even
amazing.
more.
I love her. Shafted. I felt she was always shafted and underutilized in SNL.
100%.
Speaking of, they just fired
I
the
know.
girl,
the
girl,
musical.
the musical girl from
Yeah.
SNL. They did just hire someone that was in My Friends when he was in Groundlings trying to get into Sunday Company. He did not get in, but the new cast member, she got in.
I love that shit.
So I haven't talked to him yet, but I want to be like, how are you taking the news? I'm sure he's like, fuck that bitch.
No, I was hoping you were going to say he didn't get put on the Sunday team, but he got put on SNL, and he was like,
No. She ended up getting on
shit.
SNL.
Yeah, but yay, Sashir, we're so excited. You know what? I'm going to make a prediction about Agatha. Actually, maybe we'll save that for next week.
Okay,
Next week, we'll
yeah.
do Agatha predictions.
When is the show premiere? In 2 weeks?
The 18th.
Ooh.
So we'll have an episode drop right before.
I know, and it's getting witchy. I just realized, you know how Christmas starts way too early? Halloween is now starting very early,
God.
but
Yeah,
I'm kind
September
of
1st.
kind of not bothered by it.
No, I'm not.
If you're going to start early with something, I don't mind if it's spooky.
I don't mind it. I like being scared. And I think we're going to be scared during Agatha All Along here and there.
I don't think that show's going to be scary at all.
Well, the reason I say that is because they launched a series of posters that are parodies of other properties.
Horror movies, yeah.
Yeah, there was a Rocky Horror poster, and there's an Evil Dead poster.
Love it. Marketing team, they're doing good work.
On top of it,
I'm so excited for Agatha All Along. I need a new good TV show because some of the other ones, I dropped off a lot of stuff. Like I stopped watching Kite Man.
me too.
It just
Not
was
fun. It's just
boring.
not funny. I'm sorry. Not funny.
A lot of these ones were like, yeah.
I got back into Batman though. I got back into Batman.
Oh yeah, I
Crusader.
stopped watching that.
Yeah,
Does it get better?
it does. It does. Really cool take on Harley Quinn.
Oh, speaking of, the new Joker is getting panned at not Sundance, at the Cannes Film Festival, I think it is.
Oh,
They're
was it
saying
only
it's
was it only a 14-minute standing ovation, which is the
No,
equivalent of
people
getting
were
booed?
walking out.
Good.
I don't think
I
it got
hear
a standing
it
ovation at all.
underutilizes Lady Gaga.
Well, it's a musical. I heard that it just leans into the courtroom drama of the murder of the what's his name,
The Waynes.
Robert De Niro's character.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like just becomes like a courtroom drama, and then it like bogs.
Well, I
it
hated
down.
the first one, so I'll probably hate this one.
Me too. But we'll watch it because of this show. We have to watch all this shit for the
It's
show.
all for you, Damon, you little Damon.
I'm doing it all for you, Damien. You know, speaking of which, maybe we do need to. My husband. Oh, I love that I can say husband. My husband is swearing by the Omen prequel
Oh, okay.
and says it's amazing and scary.
Isn't someone sexy in that?
Is someone sexy in it?
Like the actor who's in isn't it someone who I think is really sexy?
I do not know. I don't know.
Do you know who stars in it?
I don't think it's anybody famous.
Okay.
But it's all like what happens. It's basically leading up to why the first movie happens. And I did not see it because I hate a prequel. I hate a prequel. I'm just over the prequels.
Yeah, but this looks cool. It's like, you know what? I don't know much about the Omen movies, so I'll take the prequel.
You've seen the first one, right?
I have. A long time ago.
First one, amazing. I'm doing it all for you, Damien. Best suicide scene ever.
Oh, yeah.
Second one is creepy, but not as good. The third one is like a completely different movie because he's an adult and the president, and he's like fully like, well, I'm the Antichrist. I guess I have to destroy the world.
Guess I better start antichristing.
Yeah.
Okay. We love an antichrist.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we?
Do we?
Do I love Satan? Maybe. But
Maybe.
I know what I love more? Comics.
Why?
Why do I love comics? Because it made me gay.
How?
Because if you read comics, Brett, I don't know if
Yes.
you're aware of this, but that makes you queer. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot to press the button.
Damn.